Yes, that's the button. Woo. Welcome to Destination Divergence. The music is yet to kick in for me. There it is. Sweet. Awkward start. It has been 20 months since you guys were last playing these characters, or more realistically, for your characters before they were last played by you. Whichever way you want to do it, we've had 20 months of downtime, and a lot has happened. As a quick recap of some of the other characters' things, actually, let me back up even farther and describe just the situation you guys are in. Why not? A little bit of recap. The Traveler has come to you after you defeated Raktalkesh with a bit of news that the world is ending, whether you like it or not, unfortunately. That's something you could choose to resist if you want. You could go around killing a bunch of dragon gods so that there would be no dragon gods left to ascend to the place of progenitor dragons, but the party has decided against that. And so, 3 dragon gods will ascend to become the progenitor gods of the next universe. You guys are hoping to rig the election. You're hoping to get 3 specific dragon gods that are a little bit more favorable to mortals, and a little bit more on the good side rather than on the evil side. There's a dragon of humor and pleasure instead of a dragon of greed. There's a dragon of enlightened justice instead of harsh, oppressive law. And there's a dragon of good, light, and healing instead of vengeance and evil. So, you guys will have to split up into 2 groups, which we have done already. So tonight we have Eli, Nakarth, and Drost with us. Leroy is not being played tonight, but is spiritually with us, of course. That is the party that is in this group, the current Might and Metal Magic group. You're splitting into 2 groups because there are 2 chains of planes that need to be stabilized in order for your plan to work. This will trigger a special case in the prophecy that will lead to the dragons becoming the progenitor gods that you want to become the progenitor gods. And so 2 chains are 2 of the dragons, and then finally, once those are stabilized, Dalcor, the region of dreams, will finally become accessible after 40,000 years. And you'll all be able to travel there, stabilize it as well, and rig the election for the final place of progenitor dragon god. That is the current situation, and that is the plan you guys have decided to go for instead of the plan of killing all the dragon gods, because that sounded really hard, and also it would trigger like 15 separate apocalypses within the span of a couple months, and who knows if the world would even survive that. Even if you did save the worlds, what would be left? Who knows? So, you're all aiming to hopefully convince these new dragons that the next world should bring over the souls of the people from the previous world, maybe even their bodies if you're persuasive enough, and see how much of humanity, and if Eli has any say in it, the animals as well, can be saved in this process. And we'll see how that goes. So, the other group has been up to some things in these 20 months. Milos and Leroy together took some journeys into the Mournlands, several of them. The main Mournlands itself, the original one, as well as the Mournlands of Ondair, the Mournlands of the Mror Holds, and so on. Just to gather some intel, some supplies. The Ondarian Mournland and the Mror Holds Mournland were already kind of being excavated by the peoples of those locations. The Ondarian Mournland has already been, many expeditions have been sent in there by House Cannith, because House Cannith has a lot of valuable shit in there. That's where their new headquarters were. It really sucks to be them, honestly, because their headquarters was in Seer, and then they moved it to Ondair, and then that one got hit too. So their headquarters in 4 years has been decimated twice now. Pretty sad.
Thanks.
Unfortunate for them. But Leroy and Milos uncovered something while they were digging around in the Mournlands of Seer. They went to the original capital there, the original headquarters of House Cannith, to try and find out what could have gone wrong here. Is there anything worth salvaging here? And they found many dead Warforged lying around. Apparently, the dead bodies of the troops of the Lord of Blades, a very powerful Warforged, who was trying to lead sort of a rebellion against the Fleshborn of the world. He believed in Warforged supremacy, essentially, and was trying to kill anyone that was not a Warforged. That is their goal. Not particularly pleasant, but you found a lot of their dead bodies there. It appears they had broken out into fights amongst themselves once the Lord of Blades had disappeared suddenly and without warning. Strange. They did not, unfortunately, uncover any, clues as to where the Lord of Blades may have gone, but they did find an ancient eldritch machine called the Creation Forge, which is a very secret technology, a very secret, powerful magic item that House Cannith has created. That is, I call it a magic item, but it is just so happens to be an item that is magical. It is massive. It is like skyscraper sized underground. It is a giant structure. And it is what is used to create the Warforged originally. The Warforged cannot simply be created without this structure. You can create all sorts of constructs, but you need a structure this powerful and this complicated to make something that bears sentience like the Warforged do. And there are many secrets about it. Milos has yet to uncover those secrets. Leroy has yet to uncover those secrets. House Cannith has kept those things very, very safe. And unfortunately, the main place that kept all those secrets was now under the Mournland. The Eldritch Machine, the Creation Forge, seemed to be emitting some of the mist that was creating the Mournland as well, so there seems to be some sort of link there, but unfortunately they were unable to find out too much more before they had to retreat with their expedition. Additionally, Faye and Carrick sort of went on large political campaigns, essentially, trying to protect the realm, trying to convince people of what they're doing and the value in what they're doing, trying to reassure people that it'll be okay because they're going to try and save as many people as they can. They're going to try and save everybody, and so on. And just trying to make sure that no one's being lied to, everyone understands what's going on, but also trying to calm the people at the same time. And Clemens was doing a lot of research for the party. She acquired an airship and had it very, very heavily modified, so it was chock full of weaponry, and she got her old pirating crew back together to go on adventures around the world looking for any sort of arcane and ancient knowledge on the plains, especially. Any strange manifest zones that might be studied, and so on. And, picking up some treasure along the way to pay for, her crew and such, and some of that information she uncovered was very helpful to Drost in what you were doing. Why don't you cover for us what Drost has been up to these past 20 months?
So Drost had a list. Firstly, squash the hag. Probably took him like 2 days.
Yeah, not bad at all.
I did go drag Berkana down with me.
That's fine.
I
wish I had thought to ask if Berkana could help and do any downtime, but I forgot.
Berkana's probably pretty busy.
Fair.
Because you guys are...
He probably helped. She probably helped with some of Dross' plans to organize.
Yeah. And
the forces of Kyber are very much upset with the current plan you guys are going for here. So, and in fact, it turns out that the invasion of Fractal Keshnal, that was one of their last-ditch efforts to try and stop this from happening in the first place. So, because of that, they're obviously still sending troops up from below, and Berkana and her forces there are very busy keeping the gates to hell shut.
Fair enough.
So I was grabbing all of the Goliath clans and unifying them under a single banner. Which, as Jordan pointed out, would probably not be terribly difficult, as they're already pretty much all on the same side, which is survival for their race.
Yep.
And then the last part of that was kind of turning their villages into mountaintop fortresses and fortifying them so that we kind of have a base of operations, and the Goliath have a better home, a better, more stable home.
Yep. For however many weeks they have left.
Dark, but okay.
I mean,
It keeps them from panicking. I call it a win.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it also gives us a base of operations to work from, because in part of that, I was constructing a structure to utilize the portal.
Yes, you would work very heavily with Carrick on that, as Carrick was researching planar magics, Leroy was researching planar magics, and Clemens was bringing you all sorts of artifacts and different research found from all over the world just to help you in this project.
Yep.
And yeah, you successfully built a giant portal structure that can be switched between different planes, and it's actually not too long ago you saw some of your companions fly on through that, off to the plane of chaos.
Yep.
Anything else Dross did over these 20 months? You built a hammer. Made your hammer better,
did.
technically, I guess. Yeah.
Upgraded my hammer more.
Yeah. I think that covers most of it, right?
Yep, that's pretty much it. With upgrading the hammer more, I'd say that's everything.
Alrighty.
Other than making the portal big enough that airships can fly through it. Oh, I was also going to work on sourcing a third airship.
Right. Yeah. That is fair. I mean, you probably could just, the ones, that's probably a reward that could come about from Faye and Carrick's sort of large political news campaign, essentially, just telling the world of what's going on, what's happening. That's going to be okay because we're taking care of it. If you can get House Thorandar on board because of that, they'd probably give you one of their best ships and crews. But of course, that ship and those crews are significantly less legendary than all of you party members. So if you're going to take that airship anywhere dangerous, you might be without a crew after too long.
Yeah, if we had our own pilot, that'd be nice, but we don't, so whatever.
Yeah.
Easy, just build the captain's, build a bunker around the wheel. Just make sure he's protected.
Yep.
All right. So that's Drost stuff done. Eli, what have you been up to?
As my old pappy used to say, old my pappy had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. I've been traversing the world to get ready for my big meeting with the executives, aka the dragons. And I've been trying to find almost any beast I could get a hold of. And through that, kind of gave them their own little sanctuary to sit in. But before I exploit them and show them to the god, like, hey, look, these guys are cool. Don't you want to keep them? So long story short, I've became Newt's commander and have fulfilled my purpose of being Old MacDonald having a farm, Eli E-I-O.
Perfect.
And that's kind of most of what I have done. Other than Faye and I can work this out, but I probably sat Faye down at some point once I finished up my note-taking and, like, points I wanted to make into a little slideshow. Or I guess, like, scroll show? Am I gonna just, like, open up a bunch of different scrolls and be like, look at that!
Yeah, it's called
okay,
a BD.
now, look at this!
I'm sure with some magic you can figure something out.
Yeah, we're level 20. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I'll sit her down and kind of go over like the talking points. Whether or not Faye follows through with that is completely up to her.
That makes sense. I do think one of the reasons we organized the parties like we did was because you were going to essentially the dragon god of the Fae and humor and pleasure, and that would make sense to convince them that way. Whereas Fae is talking to the dragon god of like justice and law and knowledge and stuff, and might have to take a slightly different approach. But we'll see. We'll see if she uses some of that or not. It depends on how Charlie plays that out.
I feel like hee funny, aren't these animals adorable and also stupid looking? And the Fae god's gonna be like, oh my god, you're right.
Exactly.
We need to have these.
Yeah, it's entertainment value. Don't want the world to be boring, right?
Exactly. They need to be a little interesting.
All right, sweet. And yes, it honestly makes sense that would be pretty much what you were doing this entire time, because gathering up all of those species is a gargantuan task that I'm only letting you complete in even this short of a time because you're level 20.
Thank you very much.
That makes sense. You guys are basically gods, right?
I've also probably mastered animal handling. Not really, but like...
Not really.
In my brain.
Yeah. Eli, just in Eli's brain now, animal handling is just pointing your suitcase at them, and now they're handled. Like, you got them. Like, you control them whether they want it or not, I guess, right?
Oh, God.
Nakareth, what have you been up to for 20 months?
I feel like Nakareth's been running around like crazy. Between helping build the portals with preliminary like anchor placing, with his newfound ability to astral project and travel around planes, I feel like he would have used that to try to, help place anchors and stabilize the portals properly, and do whatever intelligence gathering he can on each plane.
That makes sense. I think between sessions I also mentioned in the chat, and during the Monday groups session, I mentioned that between Clements and Nakareth, you guys have gathered so much knowledge specific to each plane that before you guys go into each plane, I'm going to give you a brief rundown of some details about it in case you want to make last minute preparations. So we'll get to that. Ooh. But yes, that'll be helpful.
Nice.
Anything else? Sorry to interrupt.
So I got a couple things. Something that just occurred to me, and I didn't say between sessions, is Nakareth would be very useful with the Phase political campaign, employing the old high insight, high charisma one.
True.
Especially since now I can apparently read minds if I feel good enough.
Oh, what?
Well, that whole thing with the Traveler, I rolled it like 40 insight. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Discern absolute truth and reality. So there's that. Go from city to city with like every time they enter a city and help Faye figure out who would be the most helpful for us and who's sympathetic, and who to talk to to get things to go as smooth as possible.
That makes sense.
And in that process, he would probably be keep an eye out for quarry agents, dreaming dark agents, with his ability with the rope to even like discern who's possessed and not, or whatnot. And try to weaken the dreaming dark as much as I could before we even get to Dalcor.
Makes sense.
And in the meantime, he was also working on his robes to help protect everyone on this journey as we go. But since we are going to the plane of madness, Joriat, something like that.
Yep.
And that place is a very, very taxing mental strain. So he developed a new fighting style to help protect everyone's minds. Since I'm not sure if we have a paladin with us this time. But yeah, basically, I'll be able to give everyone advantage on wisdom saves, and then use my reaction to grant you my wisdom save plus my wisdom bonus to your save. And if all else fails, you guys can spend an action to use stillness of mind, which will clear fears and charms.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
pretty sweet.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think that's most of it.
Makes sense. And yeah, good upgrades all around. Got some good resources from everybody. I think Leroy neglected to send me downtime ahead of time. So, oops.
We weren't the only ones.
I know that Leroy was working with Milos to do expedition stuff, but I guess we'll figure out things other than that. It may just be that Leroy was working on that and also helping with the planar crafting stuff. That would make sense, but we may amend that next time. We'll see. But anyways, you guys, the day has come. The window is finally open. The planes are beginning to align, and you need to stabilize them in this position before they drift apart again. And it'll be who knows how long before this opportunity arises. And unfortunately for you, you won't have that long. If you miss this opportunity, the planes won't be aligned in time for the end of the world. And so, the 3 evil dragon progenitors will ascend. And that won't be so good. So, the window is here, and you must head to the plane of death, Delur. You've all experienced a little taste of Delur in the past, the second Mournland that y'all went into, the one over Stormhome Keep, the one where you got shadows attached to you, some of you, and so on. That is the place you're headed. The true version of it, not merely a shadow of a shadow from another plane. And so, because I did say I'd give you a little bit of a rundown on it, I will just tell you a few details about it before you head in case you want to change up your plans or decide what you're taking with you, and so on. So, Delur is where all the souls of the dead go before they go on to whatever's next. Nobody has gone beyond Delur and come back, so nobody knows what is beyond Delur, where souls go, because they do eventually pass on to somewhere else. But as long as the soul remains in Delur and has not passed on, that is the window of time that they are available for resurrection magics and such. Delur is a massive machine-like maze of processing facilities for these souls. Essentially, the souls come in and they are slowly sorted and filtered as they will be, as the plane drains them of their memories, drains them of their humanity, and leaves only the core element of the soul with no emotion remaining, and that is what passes on. The rest of the energy has been sapped into the plane itself. And you'll find out more about that when you get in there, I'm sure. But while you're in there, the plane will constantly attempt to sap the life out of you. Nikarth has already experienced that by dipping in there once or twice. Time will be slightly of the essence, because the longer you stay in there, you're going to start accumulating stacks of exhaustion. This won't be a terribly fast process, but it'll be something to keep in mind, and I'll update you guys when this will be happening. Additionally, much like what happened with some of you when you were in the original Mournland, or the original Mournland that you dipped into at least, it is hard to cast magic in this plane. Any kind of spell casting requires an ability check, unless it's a cantrip. Any spell of a first level or higher, you must succeed on a spellcasting ability check with a DC equal to 10 plus the level of the spell. If you fail the check, you do not lose the spell slot, but you do lose your action you used to cast. So it can be just a little tricky. Most of the time, you can recast a spell enough times that you'll eventually pass the roll, so it'll just slow you down a little bit. But in combat, spellcasting will be harder to rely on. And yeah, those are the details. Nakarth, mostly from dipping in and out of the plane, only uncovered these catacombs, essentially, these tons and tons of corridors of cells and in crypts. It looks like a fucking Dark Souls level. It's pretty crazy in there, pretty dark. There are souls of the dead wandering through these halls, slowly fading into shadows and shades, losing their emotion as they walk and eventually reaching their destination. Nakarth, you have the ability to understand spoken language, right? But not read language, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So you found a lot of writing on the walls here, but unfortunately you're unable to read it, I believe. I can double check your languages, but I don't think this is one you would know. You would recognize the script as similar to the script of Celestial, but you are unable to piece together the actual words. But perhaps that's something you can... Similar to Celestial. But perhaps you can piece together more once you get some more eyes on it in there. Yes. So, that is what you guys know about Delur, the Realm of the Dead, before you head in there. Would you like to make any special preparations? Whether that's, I don't know, choosing... the other party had like a bunch of selections of things for like spell, like magic item, like spell storing item, or like preparing buff spells at a time. I think they also chose not to bring their airship to the plane of chaos because they heard it was too chaotic. So, I mean, if you guys know that this is all corridors, perhaps airship wouldn't fit so well either.
Yeah, probably skip the airship for this one. Would I know what languages have a script similar to Celestial? Or could I go find that out ahead of time and like just at least identify the language?
The the comprehensive list is out of my reach at the moment. I don't remember where that was. Hold on. There is an official list somewhere of what each language's script is written in, but I think it's also one of those things where like they release a new source book and they add languages that way, and then that doesn't line up with the original tables, and you know, so on and so forth.
Oh Jesus. Okay. Could I roll a religion check?
Hold on. I found, here we go. Celestial script is oh, I'm sorry, I misremembered the table. I did find the table though. Never mind. It is similar to Elvish script. Yes. So okay. So you actually wouldn't even recognize the script then?
I mean, it's Elvish, so you probably would.
Yeah, I wouldn't. You probably would recognize
know if like, it's Elvish or not.
Right. You would definitely look at it and be like, "Damn, that looks Elvish," but you wouldn't be able to read it. And yeah, honestly,
like, with I can actually read Celestial, which is why I'm like
exactly. And with the way Delur constantly tries to sap not just your life force but your memories from you, it is surprisingly hard to come back from Delur with memories of the place.
Oh yikes!
So little things like that, like trying to remember glyphs of a foreign language and write them down afterwards, is pretty difficult. Unfortunately, but some kind of weird writing. You recognize it as Elvish of some kind, but you may have to figure that out once you get in there. These were like runes carved into intersections and stuff.
Oh, interesting. Then could we have acquired maybe a translator node, a translator crystal. Look through it.
I'm trying to remember if Leroy can understand all red script.
Oh wait, he probably can. Yeah, because he's. It sounds. I think he had Eyes of the Runekeeper.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if he
But,
kept that or not.
Yeah.
I don't see it on his character sheet anymore, actually. It may be something he got rid of to swap out.
No.
Leroy.
Jenkins.
Trying to see if he also had comprehend languages or something, but I don't see it. Perhaps this information will be contradicted once we actually hear from Leroy later, but for now, it does not look like he has a solution to this problem. From my brief look over the sheet. Unfortunately. Anyone else have comprehend languages?
Fuck no.
I don't believe so. If I do, I've never fucking used it.
No shot, homie.
Nah, I don't got a language spell. Fuck that.
Yeah, I do not see anything on Leroy's sheet. I'm pretty sure he had that at one point and swapped it. I think that's the case. For a higher level thing at some point, I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, I want to say he did have it in the past. I think I remember him talking about it.
Well, then, in any case, could we at least bring a few scrolls of comprehend language?
Oh, that's a good idea. What level spell is comprehend language?
I don't remember.
Do some. I think it's pretty early, like first or second, right? First level divination. So yeah, if you want to spend we'll say 100 gold piece per scroll, you can get some of that.
You know what I think our best method of traveling through Delure would be?
What would it be, maybe?
Probably Eli's fog cloud spell. Or whatever it is. Windwalk.
Holy shit, you're actually
If it's tunnels you can't bring an airship through, flight speed's gonna be the best.
You and up to 10 willing creatures can see within range. You can see within range. Assume a gaseous form for the duration, appearing as wisps of clouds. While in this cloud form, a creature has a flying speed of 300 feet and has resistance to damage from non-magical weapons. The only actions a creature can take in this form are the dash action or to revert to its normal form. Reverting takes 1 minute. Until the spell ends, a creature can revert to cloud form, which also requires the 1 minute transformation. Yeah, if you're flying while the spell ends, you fall, but it lasts for 8 hours.
Yeah, it's a good travel spell.
But what are we looking for?
That's my question.
Yeah.
So we have movement in terms of windwalk. We have safety in terms of my rod of
rod.
Lol. Rod of security. I mean, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. It probably will. If we can bamf out of the plane, then we'll be fine and won't have to suffer the effects permanently. So that's a good backup. But then my one question is, how do we get where we're trying to go, right? Like,
the world anchor will point towards where it needs to be placed until you place it. Apologies. I think I went over that with the other group and forgot to tell this group about that. That is how they work. So Carrick handed out a bunch of these things to you guys. You got 6 in total, 1 for each plane.
So it's a compass.
Yeah, it'll be a compass, and then when you place it where it needs to be, it'll lock in place and activate its enchantments and all that stuff. It actually looks like a little... We actually decided last session, it looks like a tiny little anchor that fits in the palm of your hand and floats there, but it's actually got some heft to it. It's pretty heavy for its size. And yeah, it'll hover over your hand and just point in the direction you need to go.
That's pretty fucking cute, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I like that. Okay. Well, we got a plan then.
Yep. You may have to untransform from cloud form to see the direction you need to go, but you could like just run and check and then run it and check again and stuff like that.
Yeah.
minute at a time or whatever.
Does it have any kind of indication for distance?
Does not.
God
That'd
damn
be
it.
too easy. Come on. Can't it just teleport us there?
Can we just skip the arc?
Fair enough.
No, I'm kidding. I'm dumb and teasing you.
All right. So, any other things you guys want to prepare? How many scrolls do you want to buy? I can just deduct that from party funds.
Oh, I was thinking 5, maybe. That'll be in there for 5 hours.
That's pretty good.
I'm hoping we don't take that long, but who knows?
I would
add...
like to leave Juno at home.
That's pretty fair. I'm going to add 5 scrolls of Comprehend Languages to Leroy's inventory since I know he can cast that. I
would be surprised if it's not on a Bard spell list.
That's true. I could transfer some of them over. Is it on the Bard spell list? It should be.
I feel like it should be, but I just don't have it. Like, I didn't pick it as a spell.
Where is Bard spell list? Comprehend Languages. There it is. Yep. So you can cast these spells just fine.
Wonderful.
So let me transfer over. Let's do 3 of them to you. And Leroy will take 2. Since you'll probably use one pretty early, I imagine, then they'll be evenly split. There we go. All right, into the plane we go.
Might as well.
All right, into the plane you go. The portal opens, and Nick, we kind of skipped over it in the other group. We just said, hey, there's a portal, it's big enough for your airship. But if you want to describe your facility and what the portal looks like and stuff, go for it.
So Joss has been using some house Cannith tools, and mainly the pure muscle of his clans that he's aligned to construct fortresses along the mountain range outside the Demon Ways.
Perfect.
And on one of the higher peaks, there is a special facility that was constructed that's basically just a castle, and the whole purpose of it is to house a mechanism that utilizes that tablet that the other group found in Zendrick. It has dragon shard power sources, and it basically will open a portal large enough for an airship to fly through to any of the planes you align it to. So it takes away the burden of a person having to activate it. And it also adds the utility of a very large transportation gate, whatever.
Makes sense. Pretty sweet. So you guys have the large gate you can all walk through, and that will take you there. The portal to the plane of chaos you saw open for your party members just recently looked like just this ever-changing like rainbow swirl that was I mean, even calling it a swirl is giving it too much structure. There was not a pattern to be seen there. Colors would change completely at random, but it's hard to really focus on for too long even. But this one, Delur, is quite the opposite. It is a honestly, we're going Dark Souls again. It looks like a fog door from Dark Souls. It is just an eerie gray mist that just slowly pours into the room, mostly filling up the space of the portal, so that you can't see through it at all. Just this opaque fog. That is the portal that is opened ahead of you. And once you all step through, you are in the dark. You all got dark vision?
Yeah.
I see y'all, bitch.
True.
With an ever burning torch might have been something good. to have actually.
That's
This
fair.
motherfucker doesn't have dark vision.
You would have known ahead of time that this place is dark, so that's a fair thing if you want to buy that.
I have really good dark vision.
I do think perhaps the more Eberron-y version would be the Everbright Lantern, though.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah. Everbright Lantern is a common item, so you can pick one of those up for 30 gold pieces according to the Eberron rules. Easy enough.
Oh, easy peasy. Okay.
Yeah. The common items are extremely common. So there you go. So yeah, you'd have a lantern you can shine around, which is nice because now that adds even more cinematic effect to this. You're shining this lantern, which we'll say is I like the Cohen lanterns better. They're cooler. You can shine a long beam and stuff. You can shine that out through the mist and see it play off the mist around you and all that. Perfect. And despite all of you having dark vision except for Nagarth, and being able to see, and you can't see shades of color and all that stuff, right? That's whatever. In this place, it doesn't matter. Everything around you is just dull shades of gray and black anyways, and there is, once Nagarth turns on a light, it doesn't change anything. There's nothing to see that is colorful around here at all. The closest thing you see to color are some of the shades floating through the space nearby are like a dull tint of blue rather than like a very, very subtle blue that is mostly black, just sort of shadows floating through the air. Yeah, it is a cool tones of color that are all devoid of any warmth. You're in the middle of a large tunnel that heads off in a direction. Stone bricks all around you. This place is a little bit damp. There's, like I said, fog, like kind of slowly clinging to all the surface around you, rolling across surfaces. Not so much hovering in the middle of the space so much, but almost every surface has some sort of moisture and fog clinging to it. There are iron bars and chains hanging from different things, shades that are chained up to structures, unable to move and just slowly pulling themselves away, but unable to get much farther. But it seems they're just repeating their actions over and over again, even though they're not making any progress. There are shades slowly shuffling all in one direction, down the hall, away in the direction that you started looking when you arrived here. And I'd like everybody to take 1 level of exhaustion just for stepping into this place.
Oh no!
Oh.
Yikes!
Oh no!
No way to resist that, huh?
I should not be here.
When the first rule of Delur is when a creature enters Delur, it immediately gains 1 level of exhaustion.
Fuck me. That's not good. It
just hits. So that'll be fun.
Oh no. I look up exhaustion effects because this is gonna hurt real fast.
Are there any other just take exhaustion things that I would know about?
You would know that staying here, you would know
is
that
bad.
different spirits decay here at different rates. So there is some sort of component that makes it easier for some than others here. So you would imagine that future instances of exhaustion mechanically here will have saving throws, but this first one is just instant.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys, as soon as we enter and that hits, you would see Dross just fucking fold.
Just ability checks, my dude.
Are you Dross? Were you exhausted coming in already?
One of my hammer passives is that every level of exhaustion gives me the negative effects of 2.
Oh.
So
not counting death, but yes.
Not counting death. So 1 gives me 2 levels, 2 gives me 4 levels, and then 3 is just all of it.
Does your speed being halved count for the
Yes.
spell I put on you? Oh no.
That's why I said, oh no, because this shit is real bad. Yeah, I think it hits me a little extra. I'm not used
God.
to this.
Do we have a way to energize Drost, like the restoration spell?
Uh,
That would be Greater Restoration can remove exhaustion levels.
Yikes.
I got lesser restoration with the staff of healing.
Yeah, that'll not do it.
I got regenerate.
Does
I can
Lord.
polymorph them into something else.
that
Can
actually
I?
work?
Ooh, I don't
Did
think that would
you,
remove your exhaustion.
Never mind. You polymorph into something else? I mean, maybe.
What if I polymorph them into like a small creature? I hold them, and then I transform us all into gas clowns and just hold the small creature with me.
I don't think that's quite how that works, but
God damn it!
I like the thought.
Can I possibly flashback into getting some kind of potion specific for exhaustion for this?
Yeah, you guys would have known that there's exhaustion effects here, so I think that's fair. And Dross would know that, yeah, exhaustion's really bad for me. So, sure, well, we can deal with that.
Sorry, I missed what you said. My headphones came unplugged.
No worries. I was justifying what you said, and I agree. I'm just trying to think of what we can do mechanically there. Is there like a potion of greater restoration we can do? There's always scrolls. Which Eli, I'm pretty sure could cast. One
of restoration. Scrolls. Charm.
I think scroll might work because that's just casts of greater restoration. You would also need the spell component as well, of course, which is like 500 gold pieces of diamond dust or something. So it's get expensive depending on how many charges you want to keep, but it might be less than 500, but I can't remember off the top of my head. It is 100. That is significantly less. Cool.
So how many of those would we have wanted, team? Probably at least one per person, right?
So each of these planes are going to have their unique challenges. And we're probably going to need a few more since we don't have Faye to spam that kind of spell on us.
You want to do 500 or you want to do 1,000 even?
1,000 even what?
For
the
materials.
components? Because the scroll itself is going to cost you 4,000 to pop.
Oh, I don't realize it was that expensive.
So it'll be 4,100 gold pieces per cast of Greater Restoration.
How much money do we have?
A lot.
It's been dwindling. People have been dipping into it for their downtime projects. You guys still have 40k gold pieces ish total.
Mm-hmm. So we couldn't even buy 10 of these.
Actually, I forgot to take out
3
Milos's money for one of my project. So you guys actually have 2,000-ish gold pieces in the Winds of Change storage. Let's see what's in the other storage. You might not have enough money to do this because of all the other expenditures you've made.
Oh no.
Unfortunately. Yeah. I wanted to make sure I tracked that Milos spent a lot of money upgrading the weapon, as did Carrick, and so many people crafted upgraded stuff. It drains money.
Yeah. You know, we also didn't go over what it would cost for robes.
Ooh my. Well, to be fair, your robes would probably cost psionic stuff, which you can just create.
Fair enough.
So that probably would have been the largest component of it, to be honest. I'll bump off just a few hundred gold pieces for like the inks and stuff you might use, but it probably wouldn't be crazy because the largest component would be the legendary psionic essence. So I'll just bump 200 gold pieces off for that. Not bad, but so many other people needed like legendary essences that the party can't create, so that got expensive very fast. All right. So unfortunately, you can't afford even a single Greater Restoration scroll because that's just very expensive. Because yeah, that is 4,100 gold pieces for a single cast of that. So you might have to find a different solution to that problem.
We still have 700 platinum, so we could do one to get you through the door.
That's true.
But then we're basically fucked.
Exhaustion.
Well, given Bardic Inspiration, I feel much more confident going forward. But if Bardic Inspiration can be used for that.
So do we want to get one cast of it just to prop Drost back up for now?
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know what we're gonna buy in here is the problem.
Well, time is of the essence, so speed is of the essence.
That's pretty
I also
fair.
get inspiration if when we enter initiative, if I have none left. So 20th level perk.
I'd say a one-off is probably worth it just to keep me at the same speed as everybody else, so we can move as a squad and get there faster.
I mean, to be fair, you're not gonna catch me, but
Well, if we have the 300 move speed from the Windwalk.
Yeah, and the only action you can take is dashing.
Oh, right. My monk move speed doesn't affect that at all, does it? Never mind.
No,
I don't believe so. No, because you transform.
All right.
Myself to go faster.
Go ahead and let's drop that plat level by 410, and I'll take my exhaustion off.
Oh.
Yep. And this is a spell scroll of a level that Eli can cast, so Eli can manage that for you.
Oh, yeah.
And I have subtracted the cash.
And then after that, Eli, you want to hit us with some Windwalk?
Sure. Takes me a minute to cast this on y'all. Give me a hot sec to just go and cast Windwalk. I like to think that the song that I play is like, I'm walking on sunshine. Woohoo!
Perfect.
Nice.
Especially since my materials is fire and holy water.
Assumedly we checked which direction the thing is pointing before we take off.
Yeah, that would make sense. You also are in a long corridor with a wall at your back currently. So there's not much choice at the moment, but once you get to an intersection or something, you could probably start making choices like that. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, just a direction of where to go may or may not be it may have varying degrees of helpfulness inside a maze, because it might point left, but left actually takes you backwards once it goes around a corner somewhere ahead, right? That kind of thing. So
True.
We'll see how that goes, but you guys can take off in a direction of the one direction you've got available to you. And did you already mark off your exhaustion, Drost? Back to 0? Okay, good.
I marked it back to 0.
Perfect. So,
all right.
I will say one other thing about this place that Nakareth has uncovered previously.
Okay.
Actually, Nakareth, make me... Let's call this an insight check, I think, as you observe the actions of the other spirits around here while you were projecting yourself here previously.
Okie doke. This is just going to be normal.
Sweet. Excellent. Okay. So you actually notice that the spirits that seem to decay the fastest are the ones that are not moving. It appears that in this place, your emotional, mental, and spiritual energy is drained when you when you stop to rest. So, as long as you are moving and doing things, you feel like you'll be safe. You think you're going to start having to make saving throws whenever there's any kind of rest, a short rest or a long rest, is what will trigger that.
Okay,
just
but like
ahead of time.
Just to check, like 10 minute. What's it? A minute or 10 minutes for in and out of Windwalk?
That is a minute, and that should be
a
fine.
minute.
Okay, then if that's fine, then we're good.
Yep. Just short rests or greater will start to cause issues.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's go. We're fucking zooming.
All right. You guys zoom down the corridor, and eventually, after not too far of a distance, it feels pretty short because of how fast you're going, you come to an intersection. A place where you can go any of 4 directions, the way you've come, the way you're going, or left or right. There are small runes that appear to be written in Elvish on some of the pillars of the intersection here. The room that the intersection is in opens up slightly to a more like round structure with 4 doorways leading out, but it appears to serve no other purpose than just to allow transport in multiple directions. Spirits come and go in different directions, seemingly haphazardly.
Well, if there's no discernible pattern, then I assume we should have someone do comprehend languages to see what these runes say.
Okay, so are we taking time to shift out of cloud form then?
Well, we also need to check the direction.
All right.
All right.
It's a decent distance, but we don't know.
I guess we'll drop out of cloud form.
Oh, well. It might not be the way to go. We'll eventually hit a dead end. So, yeah, I think we should comprehend languages.
All right, who's casting it? And also, I assume Windwalk is not concentration, right? It just lasts 8 hours.
No, yeah, it just lasts 8 hours.
Perfect.
Okay.
And I think according to the spell, you can like drop it and come back to it, and drop it and come back to it. You just need to
Right.
sit that 1 minute to get it to go.
Yep.
That sounds right. So Eli, do you want to expend one of your scrolls?
I would love to expand one of my scrolls.
All right, let me double check your languages first to see if you recognize it. You do not, Leroy does not, and Dross does not. Yeah, so none of you can read this anyways. It just looks Elvish. But once you cast the spell and you expend the scroll, it is easy enough for you. You're much higher level than the scroll is. You're suddenly able to make out what it says. The letters shift around each other and transform into just common script that you can understand. And these are labels. They don't appear to have much description to them at all. They're simple words describing locations in this place. For example, you see one of them, the door to your right, is labeled the Kennel. The door off to your left is labeled the Crucible. And ahead of you, the door in the direction you were continuing to go is labeled the Catacombs.
The best one of that sounds like the Crucible, but like, goddamn. I mean, the Kennel is pretty nice because dogs, but all I can think about are like scary devil dogs. I communicate this information with the friend group, by the way. Yeah. So there's the Kennel, the Crucible, and the Catacombs that we could go to. I don't know what Crucible means, so like, I don't know, Kennel sounds cool to me, but what do you guys think?
The crucible is a tool for refinement. It's where you cook materials.
What if they cook
that sounds
people?
dangerous.
It's likely somewhere where they cook away the extra bits of the soul for refinement.
That was so matter of fact of you.
This is what I do.
Yes. Hmm.
What do you think, Nakarith? Where should we go? I think Kennel is probably our best bet.
They all seem rather dangerous.
That too. That too.
I think the crucible most likely has the gate to move on, but it could also hurt.
Well, first of all, which way does the anchor say? Still stay ahead?
The anchor says straight ahead.
Mm.
And which one is straight ahead?
The catacombs.
Yeah.
Oh, of course it's the catacombs. of fucking course. Can't have an easy stroll now, can we?
No.
You said scroll.
Shush.
We just scroll along. This is a side-scrolling adventure.
Comprehend languages. You start to cross words in your head from other languages too. You know.
All right, let's
Like, yeah,
hear
scroll
guys.
means stroll. In
Stop making fun of
Elvish.
me. Stop making fun of me, guys. It's not fair.
My vote would be Catacomb, Crucible, Kennel.
Wow,
Yeah.
we're really putting Kennel on the bottom of the list here, aren't we?
That's where it should be.
Excuse me, Dross. I don't know what stick is up your ass.
I think Kennel's in the doghouse for now. So my vote's Catacombs.
But 2 out of 3. Leroy? Not Leroy. Eli? You okay with Catacomb?
I mean, I guess, that's fine.
What's the worst that could happen?
You know, we can all get infected with like a fucking rot virus or something that kills us.
Cool, let's go.
I will take the lead because I'm the least affected by that kind of thing. So.
All right.
So down the catacombs it is? Is that right?
Catacombs it is.
All right. You guys go a short distance down into the catacombs. It's pretty much the same as what you've been in. You get the feeling perhaps you already were in the catacombs. There are just, these cells of iron bars and chains and dark stone corridors. But now that you're in it for a little bit and you take some turns, let me describe that first. You take a sharp left turn and then a sharp right turn, and every once in a while you stop to look at where the anchor is pointing, and for whatever reason it always points dead ahead. Even after you've turned 90 degrees, the compass will also turn to match the hallway. It always points down the hall.
Interesting.
The corridors are full of many different shapes. There are tight passages that are, barely cracks in the wall, but thankfully, because you all are in cloud form, you can just squeeze right through those. There are wide, grand halls with shades enacting an endless, slow, and dreary waltz. There are ceilings completely lost in darkness in some places, but as you fly up, the walls just continue to follow you, and eventually just decide to go back down because it doesn't seem like there's any end to that. There are occasionally like these wells in like slight openings in the halls that appear to have like mist flowing out of the well. And now at this point, you guys come across the sound of stomping ahead of you. Not angry stomping, not malicious, just something very heavy and not trying to be stealthy at all. It's just sort of trudging along with heavy footsteps.
Lovely.
One of the first sounds you've heard in here in a while.
Well, of course we have to go look at it.
Would I have any idea what those are?
I will let you roll. To have just stumbled across one of these things.
You did say it's hard to remember shit in here.
It is hard to remember shit, but this is a pretty striking figure. I'm gonna say this is more of a luck-based thing than anything. So just roll me a d20, and if it's over 10, then you've seen one of these things.
Okay.
Just whether or not you happen to stumble upon one of them while you were down here.
Nope.
You're not sure what this could be. Everything you've seen down here has just been faded shadows and shades and ghosts of people.
Cool. Let's go see what it is.
These footsteps sound heavy and metallic. Like perhaps a large figure in armor or something.
Cool.
Yeah, I want to, stealth around that as best we can. In cloud form? If it even takes notice of us? I don't know.
Maybe you'll think we're just like a spirit or something.
Unlikely, but we are very fucking fast.
We will zoom by.
Alright, let's go check it out.
There is no intersections between here and there anyways, so if you guys continue in your current path, you're going to have to cross it anyways. So, can I get stealth checks from everybody, please, in your cloud forms? Which I assume is just your normal dexterity, unless the spell says something otherwise.
I don't think the spell helps. Damn! God damn, I suck.
Cloudrost is like light as a feather.
Alright, I'm like flying by, and as I'm flying by, I'm like, oh, I'm just a spirit, don't mind me.
The Karth rolled 3, Lamau. Oh, you both rolled 3s. Holy shit.
Lamau.
I rolled 19. Fuck you guys.
At least I have a plus 15.
So, you guys try to fly down this hallway. You round a corner and you finally lay eyes on what this thing is. Unfortunately, Nakara, without your lantern, it's a little harder for you, but this thing does give off a faint glow from at least one body part, so that helps. You see a massive robotic structure.
Massive robocock.
Yes, massive robocock.
Glowing in the darkness.
No.
Bad robot.
Yep.
It has one giant eye in the middle of its body. Its entire body, speaking of, is made of this dark, shadowy steel that doesn't seem to retain its form properly. Like, it's not made of metal. It's made of forged shadow and spiritual energy. It still sounds and looks like metal when it hits things, though, but then transfers back into this semi-translucent state once it is no longer in contact with anything. Underneath the eye is a deep dark blue, like almost like the blue electrical smoke is what it looks like, just sort of wafting out of like a big hole in its chest, wrapping up around its form, and this blue glow is what helps you see the rest of it. It has massive arms and legs, spikes and tiny wings covering it, and it just trudges through the hallway, the eye rotating back and forth, inspecting its surroundings as it goes. As you guys try to slip by it, all three of you get seen by it. Its passive perception is higher than all three of your rolls.
There's no way I could have passed that. There's no way I could have passed that.
And it says in a booming voice, actually, yeah, it says in a booming voice, mortal spirits will respect the speed limit. Mortal spirits will respect the speed limit.
I'm sorry, what's the speed limit?
It raises a fist. Mortal spirits will respect the speed limit. Be on your way.
Okay. Interesting. All right,
Okay.
we'll slow down while it's down here, and then speed up.
Yeah, like you do when you see a cop. We'll just slow down to like 5 miles an hour, and then like back up to whatever 300 feet per whatever it is.
All right.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't give off for like super aggressive vibes, right? Like insight.
Yeah, roll me insight. It gives
Like-
off it immediately gives off just the vibes of authority, for sure. Yeah, this thing it doesn't
He's a traffic
appear to
cop.
have it appears intelligent but not so sentient, if that makes sense, right? It doesn't have much free will. It appears to be following a set of commands. It is a construct, after all, and its commands are to keep things in check with the rules around here, and it has been given quite a lot of power to do so, and it knows that it has a lot of power to do so, and so it's not going to fuck around. So that is what you get from that.
Cool.
Damn. Okay.
So let's not threaten it, and we keep going.
Yeah. Keep going. Respect the speed limit.
All right. How slow do you guys go?
How slow have we seen everything else around here moving?
Pretty slow, like just walking speed, pretty much. Like a
Walking
very
speed
slow,
it is.
kind of, not like walking with a purpose, but like walking like not sure where you're going. So you got slowed down to a walking speed, and as soon as you do, it completely drops its attention from you and continues on its path. Its interaction has been completed.
All right.
Wonderful. Satisfied.
Once it's out of eyesight,
Cloud sight.
yeah. Once it's out of cloud sight, then we're gonna go fast again, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So you take off again down the tunnel. And you don't hear those footsteps for much longer. It appears to continue in the direction it was headed, and once you're out of its sight, it doesn't care anymore.
Cool. My kind of cop.
You guys get to another intersection. Very similar to the last. And unfortunately, Eli, at this point, your spell would have worn out. Do you want to cast another comprehend languages, or do you want to try and figure it out based on the last one you saw? See if you recognize the symbols here.
Well, I would love to check it out first.
All right. Roll me just we could go with investigation. I was going to say flat intelligence, but investigation I think would be fair here. If you have that proficiency.
Do I have to click disadvantage, or does it automatically do that?
I think you'll have to click it. Yeah.
Okay. 15.
You probably all should have made those stealth checks at disadvantage, anyways. But it didn't pass anyways.
I did roll a 3,
yeah,
so
the
chances of me going higher than that, or lower than that.
And not me, but I couldn't have passed.
Yeah, exactly.
I completely forgot about that.
It is all good. Yeah, Drost would have needed a natural 20. So Lamau. Yeah, so 15 intelligence. Yeah, I'll say honestly, these ones you recognize, because you read them earlier, and fortunately enough for you, these are the same markings as before. You've got catacombs, the kennel, and the crucible. Again, the new intersection, same deal.
Where is our little compass pointing?
It is pointing down the catacombs still.
Jesus, okay.
Now,
we haven't
this
misinterpreted the use of this, right?
This is a funny. What if we went to one of the other sections just to see if the compass changes and still points to the catacombs, or if it is like, oh, never mind, it's actually this way. Just to see if it's like adjusting with us.
I would love to.
Or if it's like playing mind games or some shit.
I think we should try that.
Yeah.
What if we get to the end and realize our goal was the friends we made along the way all along?
Now.
It was about the journey, not the destination.
You have such a beautiful mind.
The two responses he got, holy shit.
Yeah. This sounds about right for this party dynamic, honestly. I'm sure Leroy would have chipped in too, but I don't want to roleplay other people's characters that much. So.
Leroy just is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So you gonna dip down one of the other paths?
I'm down. Yeah. Which one are we dip Doug Dimmadumb dipping our toes down?
Doug Dippadome. I said it first. Bitch.
I heard it at the exact same time.
Damn.
You got me.
I mean, my vote's Crucible, but I'm not gonna rule out Kennel. I actually like dogs.
I love dogs. It was in our one of the wedding speeches.
Karen?
I really don't like Crucible.
You don't like the sound of Crucible?
No, because it feels like it'll hurt to be there.
That is very fair. It does sound like it'll hurt to be there.
Crucible sounds a little painful, not gonna lie.
Then let's fucking go somewhere else.
Kennel first, I guess. But damn, we already have been traveling for 8 hours. Fuck.
Wait, have we?
We have?
You've been traveling for more than an hour, because Comprehend just wore out.
Oh.
I was
the
gonna
other.
say,
it's actually been
my bad.
8 hours.
It's actually been.
I misinterpreted. That's my bad.
It's actually been 5 hours. It's a long way. These tunnels are vast and winding. They have not all been in a straight line either. You've been like doubling back and then winding in different directions and curving around and all sorts of stuff.
I'll show you vast.
Yeah. So it's been 5 hours. You got 3 hours left of your original spell for travel. All right. And so dipping into the kennel then, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, I get to see the devil doggies, the dead doggy. Oh, dead doggies. No. Wait, hold on. I don't want to go.
Oh wait, I want to go here more. Here, no. I changed my vote to Kennel.
Oh my god.
Which way are you going, guys? Which way are you going?
Kennel.
Oh no,
Right,
I say that as Eli. We're going to the kennel.
We're going to the kennel. All right. So the kennel is very similar to the catacombs, but very quickly. And yes, you do look at the anchor as you head in there, and you take a few steps down the route towards the kennel, and the anchor readjusts so that it is pointing in the direction you are heading, as Eli summarized. Do you continue beyond that point?
I think we were given a broken fucking compass.
Strange. What does what happens if we just step to the Crucible one?
Would you like to try?
Yeah. More information is good here.
All right. So you step back over, and as soon as you cross the threshold into that hallway, the compass pulls 180. Points down towards the Crucible.
What the?
All right, motherfucker. Well, I guess it'll be good to perhaps find something sentient enough to speak to get further instruction on where to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You picking up what I'm putting down?
It sounds like you want to go to the kennels.
I mean, yes, I want to go to the kennels and see the doggies, but I also don't, because what if they're dead? But what if they're just like undead doggos? Anyways, but also we should probably go to both rooms and see if there's something sentient that we can speak to that will be like, hey, you're looking for that thing that like lines the plains? That's great. Here you go. Like, they might not be fully against it.
There's a chance the construct we came across might, but perhaps not.
No, what would be really funny if the answer is just put it anywhere.
That would be terrible.
I place it down on the ground real quick.
We put it at this crossroad.
It sits, it hovers a few inches above the ground, and continues pointing the direction it's been pointing.
All right, never mind.
It'll change when we get to the place it's supposed to go, right?
As far as Carrick described it to you, once you reach the destination with it, its enchantments will activate, and then you'll no longer be able to move it because it'll be locked in space where it needs to be, and it'll start unraveling its magic for locking the plane where it needs to be as well.
Okay. Would I recognize any like tendencies about a place that would require, like, would he have told me like what the requirements for such a place for the magic to unravel would be?
That is something you guys need to find out by delving into the planes deeper, but the general idea is that they are a very core important place to the plane. You're essentially finding not the like center of gravity of the plane, but sort of the center of magic of the plane, if that makes sense. The center of like planar orbit, the center of planar rotation.
I do indeed think it's the Crucible is our best bet.
Okay, Crucible. That's my vote now, given that information. There's a lot of potential for things to be there.
Don't worry, Ashley. We'll come back and meet the demon doggies later.
Okay, good. Me as a player wants to meet the demon doggies. Even if they try to rip my player limb from limb.
Indeed.
Or ghost or
cloud from cloud.
Cloud bit to cloud bit.
Yeah.
Dogs are gonna take me and try to dip me in water to wash me like raccoons do with cotton candy, and then I'm gonna disappear and they're gonna go, "What the fuck?"
Alright, let's go to the Crucible.
To the Crucible!
So you guys start traveling towards the Crucible. And 3 hours pass, and you occasionally find other intersections. All of which say the catacombs on them. That is one of the words you recognize. It appears as you're traveling, you're joining up with other passages that were diverted off of the catacombs and all gathered towards the Crucible together. But the path is long and winding and twisted. And 3 hours pass, and your spell ends, and you're no longer in cloud form.
Would we like to be in cloud form again?
I would like to be out of here as fast as fucking possible.
We are in cloud form once more. After 10 minutes of 1 minute? 1 minute of sitting. I keep looking at the other spell. It says 10 minutes. After
1 minute cast
1 minute of casting.
Alright, sounds good. So it actually takes you a few tries because you need to pass that spellcasting check. But after a few minutes of casting,
oh shit! Sorry.
No, it's fine. Narratively, it only really makes sense to roll that in combat. But outside of combat, it just means every time you're casting a spell, you're actually like, shit, fuck, it didn't work, and then you cast it again, and it eventually works. It's just
especially
magic.
Annoying.
It's like every time you try to cast, the magic is just sapped away from you, and instead of actually completing the spell. Yeah, you guys are starting to feel pretty tired. You have been in here in cloud form, but still for 8 hours. That's a full day of travel. I will let you continue attempting to travel, but it's going to be Constitution saves versus exhaustion, as the normal travel rules apply. That's up to you guys.
How often do we have to make those?
I think since cloud form is helping you move around, I would say once every 2 hours of travel instead of the usual 1 hour.
Versus taking a rest and rolling once?
Some other kind of save against exhaustion, yeah.
I'd say do it at least once.
Push at least once.
Push
Yeah,
a
push
little
at least
bit
once.
because the save should only be like what's it 10 for well, it might be higher for in here, but
All right. So if you guys are pushing another couple hours, that is a round of Constitution saving throws from everybody, please.
You don't have disadvantage on this one. Ah, well.
Indeed. I am going to roll for Leroy as well, though. And Leroy should have 1 level. There we go.
Let me know
saving throw.
if I failed.
All right. Leroy and Eloy both fail and get 1 level of exhaustion.
Eloy,
DC was
Elio.
12.
All right, well, that puts Eli at half speed.
Yep.
My speed is now halved.
And yeah, Leroy's is as well.
All right, but that's fine because there's 2 people, so it makes more sense to slow down for half the group.
There you go. Do you push beyond that extra 2 hours of travel?
did we come across anything interesting in those 2 hours?
Honestly, part of why it took so long is because you kept stopping at intersections to read them, but they were all leading back to the catacombs, or some of them from the kennel as well. But there's always only one entryway, the way you're currently going, that leads to the crucible.
Figured we would have just
The compass continues to
aimed
point
it
towards
for a
crucible.
while. Yeah.
Like, we could push more, but will that actually be okay?
Well,
But also, we'll be wasting the spell if we stop and rest.
that's true.
Well,
But then if you rest, you'll get it back. If you long rest,
are we doing
you'll
a
get it back.
long rest? Oh, we'd have to do a long rest, wouldn't we?
Yes.
Indeed.
Indeed. Indeed.
And we don't know how often we'd have to roll for an exhaustion bit here.
It's true. You haven't. Nakarath has tried little bits of rest here and seeing the other spirits, but he's not tried a long rest here, I would assume. So you're unsure of the danger of that.
Probably not.
No one has Magnificent Mansion or anything like that, do they?
No. I have Purify Food and Drink. I have Unseen Serpent.
Yeah. Fuck.
Well.
I don't got any, like, cool, let's shelter somewhere safe for the night sort of spells. I'm not that kind of bard. And I know you're going to make a joke. You're not the useful kind of bard. Fuck you. I'm useful.
You are in social situations.
Exactly. I also see all.
Bitch.
And I also am good in combat, kind of, a little bit. But, like, otherwise, not.
I have my Rod of Security, but we lose time if we use that, and that's probably not bueno.
We don't know how much time we'll lose either, do we?
It's random.
That's,
how much time?
frightening.
How large was our window? How in danger are we of closing?
You guys have a month.
Yep. Nope. Can't
For
use
all
it.
of the planes?
Yes.
Oh shit! Yeah, because when we did that rod back in hell, that was like 2 weeks or something, right?
Yep.
Yeah. No. Fuck that.
Yeah, we can't use it.
Yikes.
The question is, so the big question here is, do we risk more exhaustion to keep pushing, or do we rest, potentially get exhausted, but get spells and shit back?
The thing is, every 2 hours or more, if the spell drops, if we keep failing, it's gonna get bad.
Yes.
And then we don't know if the Delore thing is just gonna tack on an exhaustion on top of that.
Like, worst case, Leroy pulls us out and we restart after we rest. But we don't want to lose that time, right?
Mm-hmm. That's pretty
Yeah,
true.
that's literally like restarting from scratch.
That is exactly what that is.
Fuck you. I think it would be good while we're still at low exhaustion to try and rest to see where that gets us.
I think we should too.
It is
Yeah,
also worth noting that level 3 of exhaustion is disadvantage on saving throws, which means you're going to spiral pretty quick.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think it's good to test the limits of Delore right now. See, like, how many times when we take a rest it actually affects us.
Yeah, let's do a rest now.
All right.
Yep.
DM, we'd like to order one long rest.
One long rest, please. What accommodations are you trying to work out here? Are you all just going to collapse onto the stone cold floor, or like, what you doing?
Checking my inventory. I have a bedroll.
Hey, that's something.
I have.
And a soul coin.
I have some soul coins. I think I dropped those off.
I think you did, because you're good aligned now, and those would hurt.
Yeah, I can't be holding 9 soul coins. I'm definitely not holding 9 soul coins. Let me just delete that. Delete the soul coins. All right. I have a bedroll too.
Bedrolls with alternating watch. Oh, we can just have Leroy take watch.
Yeah, Leroy can just go into sentry mode. That's true. Just vibe.
Yeah, so quick rest and try again in the morning.
All right. So, you guys complete your rest. You may hit those buttons as you will. And in the morning, Leroy would inform you that several more of those giant robots come through, but it seems that sleeping is an accepted activity here, and none of them bothered you.
Oh, cool.
At the end of the long rest, I would like all of you... Actually, I wouldn't like to, but I'm going to require all of you to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
With a long rest, do we get a exhaustion level off for sleeping?
Good question. This exhaustion is different, and it doesn't follow the normal exhaustion rules.
Of course it doesn't.
Anybody with 2 or more levels of exhaustion, something special may happen if you're very good at this wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Even if that second exhaustion that we rolled was for pushing it?
Yes.
Okay, just check it.
All right.
You said con saving throw?
Wisdom. And
No!
you at least get advantage. Or do I have to?
You'd have to spend.
Do I spend? Okay, just the 2 points.
Yeah, you could give everybody advantage for 2 points.
Yes. Okay, I'm doing that.
And yeah, then you add that reaction as well if you want it. So everybody has advantage. That's pretty sick. I'm gonna roll it for Leroy as well, and I'll reveal that result.
Oh no!
Leroy is pogged out of his mind.
Hell yeah, Leroy.
Gonna dump a +5 onto anybody?
I will. So, hold on. Let me double check something. Because I am going to do that. It's just a question of who. Because I'm trying to. Where's Diamond Soul? Diamond Soul. Here it is.
Now, if I was more.
Okay, I'm just making sure it didn't take a reaction. I'm going to spend a key point to re-roll that.
Okay.
Because I only rolled a 16, and I don't like that.
I was going to say, just as a note, if you roll lower, you will be taking the lower roll.
That's fair, but I have a... Oh, it's not?
It triggers when you fail. You're not sure if you failed yet.
Oh, okay. Then I'll wait until I know if I fail. So the reaction will go to. Mm, I'm gonna go to Ross because Eli might be safe.
I have my own reroll if I fail.
Oh,
Pretty fair.
then I'll give it to Eli.
Thank you.
Eli and Leroy both rolled high enough to reduce their exhaustion levels by 1.
Oh,
Everybody rolled
back
high
to
enough
one,
to avoid
baby.
an additional level. So you all passed.
Okay. So
Fuck.
I'm still at 1?
You are still at 1, yes. You did not roll high enough to reduce it, and also that only triggers when you start at 2.
Okay.
So yeah, you would still be at 1.
So you're just permanently at 1 here.
You are permanently at 1 here, at the minimum, yes. Unless you cast magic to reduce it like Dross did. But you cannot naturally drop beneath 1 here.
Yikes. So
Yikes.
he didn't lose any over the rest, though, right? Because he was at 0 and passed the con save?
Drost passed the save, so he did not gain an additional level back to 1.
Okay.
No, he's still at 0.
Cool. That's double checking.
Let's go, baby.
Expensive magic will bypass this kind of thing, definitely, but I guess narratively, because this is a very mechanical, crunchy thing that doesn't make sense with the magic. It's just like the spell you used has some lingering protection for Drost. I guess it's something like that.
I apologize if I focus on the mechanics too much.
No,
Well,
I
thank you, sweet
appreciate keeping in check. No problem. So that was fortunate. You guys had a bunch of good rolls. It worked out, and everybody has maintained their exhaustion levels or gotten better. How'd go on there?
I got better, guys. I feel rejuvenated again.
Indeed. So, upon wokejing this morning, if you could even call it morning, what you guys doing?
Gas form, anybody?
Yeah, gas form, and we can go down the
Finally get to the crucible.
Yeah.
I think that's our best bet.
Yeah.
And walk. I walk on sunshine.
All right. We can head down towards the crucible. Do you continue to stop and look at the messages along the way, or are you just gonna send it and just try and follow the one route?
Maybe a passing glance to see if there's any like new symbols or anything that like catches our eyes.
So I'll slow you down a tiny bit, but not like a massive amount because you're stopping and inspecting all of them.
Yeah, it's not like a big inspection. It's more of like, is it still that triangle shape that we saw before, or did it change to a trapezoid? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's fair. So after a couple hours, a new set of symbols does show up.
Oh. All right, we should probably stop to take a gander. What do people think?
Sure. Gander away.
Oh, there was a new symbol? Yeah.
Yeah, new symbol this time.
New symbols, absolutely.
All right. If you're gonna expend another scroll, then please.
We'll take it from me again.
All right, sounds good. And you are able to see that this new set of symbols says Vault of Memories.
Well, that's frightening. Okay. And then the other ones point to...
The other one points to the Crucible, and the back the way you came is also the Crucible. And then there is no fourth option at this intersection.
Wait, so back the way we came was a path to the Crucible?
I mean, it's not labeled, but yeah, like the way you're headed, it shows the path to the Crucible. And then yeah, I mean, you're currently on the path, like you're on the path to the Crucible is the direction you're headed. That's what I meant.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So the way, if you were looking at the previous one, that would actually say the kettle now.
Okay. And the compass, is that pointing towards the crucible still?
Still towards the crucible.
But if we take that step over to like start walking towards the memories vault,
it'll start pointing towards the vault.
I fucking hate this. I mean, I love it. Thank you so much for giving us a challenge, but also,
of course,
brain, fucking hate this.
What does it mean?
Vault of Memory seems cool, but I don't know if it feels like the center of this place to me. The magical center, you know?
Why would it not be the magical center of this place?
It is exactly what is siphoned from the souls, so that they can be.
All right, let's fucking go there. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go to the Vault of Memory.
But we also haven't found the center of the crucible.
No, let's fucking go. Let's go to the Vault of Memories.
Hey, can I do a general insight on the plane to see if it's been
Jesus
shifting around us?
Christ.
I don't know if insight would work there, but so what are you trying
All right,
to
cool.
look for? And I'll tell you what skill is relevant here.
To feel if like the plane has any kind. It's like, is it shifting around us? Like like trying to force us in a direction?
Oh, okay.
Hey, DM, can I make an athletics check to see if I can tell where I should go to solve this puzzle?
Listen, I've been floating in the astral sea doing weird shit for a while.
Yeah, I've been flexing for a while.
I think trying to put together a bunch of details from memory sounds like investigation adjacent to me.
All right.
Just look at a bunch of
I'll
details
try.
and try to figure out, read between the lines and stuff.
Yeah, there's almost no way I make this. We only got a +0. So,
you
fuck it.
fucking god.
So you're trying to determine if the plane is trying to usher you towards something. Is that right?
Yeah. All right. And then
I'd like to make a charisma check to seduce the walls into just opening up to the path.
You know what? I'm gonna do something stupid and spend a key point for tactical assessment. For
I
intelligence.
don't know what that means.
When you make an intelligence investigation, blah blah blah, you can expend 1 die and add it to the ability check.
You can spend 1 and die? That doesn't sound good.
Holy fuck, this is a bad deal.
You know, I also forgot disadvantage.
Oh, true.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my god.
No way. Alright, I'm suddenly invested in this.
24.
So the DC was 20. So thanks to your very lucky rolls and good addition of resources here, the answer shortly is yes. It feels like this place is trying to usher you somewhere. It feels like this entire place is not designed necessarily as a maze for things to get lost in, so much as a giant system of essentially conveyor belts, but they're hallways and stuff, right? This entire place exists for spirits to travel through, for spirits to be delayed in their travel through, but it seems like this place has destinations that are important and perhaps sorts the spirits where they need to go. And you've sort of instinctually felt this as you've been traveling here. Like, the plane itself is just slowly pulling you in a direction, and if you didn't have the compass to guide you, perhaps you would have leaned one way or another. Perhaps you would split up from each other, even if you're not all headed to the same place. But you've been sticking together as a group. You've had the compass. Everything's been fine. You're not actually dead spirits, but still, just the raw instincts of your own soul being pulled along by the plane are something you're able to notice. Yeah, with a 20 investigation.
Raw.
All right, I love this shit. All right, well, that's cool.
So do we go this way?
I guess we just continue. Sorry, we're continuing with Crucible, right?
Up to you guys.
Or the vault.
Well, where's the plane telling you to go, Karen?
It doesn't matter where the plane wants me to go because the anchor takes precedent. I was just wondering if it was
The anchor
trying
chooses
to.
both. If you
The
step down
anchor
towards the crucible, it points towards crucible. If you step towards the vault, it points towards the vault.
Let's go to the
Oh,
vault.
God.
Why not? Let's go to the vault.
All right, fuck it, vault.
Fuck it, vault. We should maybe be sneaky at a certain point. There's probably those big ass things here.
All right. Sounds good.
Or something worse.
So, you guys begin heading down towards the vault. The chains and cells along the walls of the place around you slowly start to disappear, and it becomes more fancy structures, if that makes any sense. It's still stone, it's still gray, it's still bricks and such, but there's no more this feeling of being in a dungeon, and it slowly transforms to the feeling of being inside some sort of massive castle. Much nicer vibe, though still devoid of color and emotion. And every pillar looks the same as another, and it's hard to tell your way around in here. And good thing there's only one direction for you to head, for now at least. But hey, a castle is better than a dungeon. There's still that light fog that clings to things, but the fog's a little lighter here. It seems less dense and dank. And it seems more like, like fog from like a fog machine that's kind of like lighter than like real fog, you know what I mean? Right? It's just like kind of artificial fog. It starts to feel and smell more like that.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Gets drier as you go. But eventually, you do indeed hear more of those thudding, clanking footsteps ahead of you from around a corner.
All right, slow down.
And you notice as well that as you've been looking at the scenery and traveling through this fog, and you're going quite fast, of course, you've been seeing less and less souls floating through space here. And at this point, the souls floating through space are very rare indeed. And there's less people for you to blend in with now. What are you guys doing?
Oh boy. All right. Now we're getting to the fun part.
Yeah. I guess we continue stealthing along.
What do we have for stealth options?
I'm good at it.
All right, you're good at it.
That's it.
Leroy is average, I believe.
Is there any way we can, like, instead of just floating by casually, what if we like hung low to the floor or hung up on the ceiling like we're just like mist coming through and not really a being?
You want to try to pretend to be mist to sneak past the creature with a giant fucking magical eyeball.
That detected we were mortal souls, yeah.
If you do want to take an approach like that, I'd let you roll something like deception instead of stealth, if that is what you prefer.
Oh my god. No, come on, dude.
I'ma do it.
You can all take different routes here. That's totally
yeah. Y'all don't have to do it.
Perfect.
Oh,
get good, Drost.
That would hurt me, dude.
If Drost can think of a way to apply athletics or something, you can. Just let me know what you're doing.
That's the fog cloud is going to flip over.
Fuck. No way.
Use athletics to like spread yourself as thin as possible to not even register as a soul.
Can I? I don't know. No, dude. Hang on. What the fuck?
Good luck, Drost.
Can I use my cloud rune to make myself even cloudier?
What does even cloudier mean? You're a cloud.
Cloudier. It actually does give me advantage on deception checks, so that's not even the worst. That's not even the worst. Fuck, dude.
Hey, gotta pick something. I think Leroy would go the deception option.
Honestly, I think my option is gonna just try to be to zip past as fast as fucking possible.
I'd say that's athletics. We're going for like a fast sprint.
See if I can slingshot myself and try to whip past this thing in Mach 4.
Okay, sure.
Action surge dash.
It's true.
Yeah, you can go fast as fuck. That's true.
I do have action surges to burn. That's true. I could wind up and just.
If you
can't action surge.
Shut up, Ashley.
Surge isn't in action.
No, it says the only actions I can take are the dash action.
Okay, yeah, they do
so
say
if
that.
I action surge, I can take another dash action.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're right. You're
so that
right.
would be 900 feet in 6
Oh,
seconds.
Jesus.
Jeez. That's fast as fuck.
That's pretty fucking.
Would it even see you at that point?
I mean, it sees something.
It just sees a gust and
I'll do that. I'll burn an action surge to move fast as fuck boy past this thing. See if I can move past its gaze. What?
All right. Go for it. So you're rolling athletics. There's some deceptions, some stealths. Everybody roll what you're rolling.
Stealth.
Man, not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad.
No.
Oof.
Oof.
Really?
2 and a 1. 2
I'm
and a
sorry,
1.
Oh, whoops.
Whoops. Leroy rolling deception
3!
at disadvantage.
Jesus Christ.
Also,
damn it.
Did you roll at disadvantage?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. Perfect. Okay. 33.
33. God damn.
Did I say I was good at deception? Because I'm good at deception.
Well, you can't fail because of reliable talent or whatever.
My reliable talent now makes my base 27.
Jesus.
Jesus.
So I actually can't fail unless I'm up against like a master insight person.
Oh no, Leroy's not doing hot either.
Leroy is not. Unfortunately, the 3 and the 1 on that roll. That was just unfortunate all around.
Mine wasn't the hottest. It wasn't a 33, but at least I'm going 900 feet per round.
So, unfortunately for you guys, I'm gonna treat this as a group check. And you would have had 2 successes from 2 of your rolls, but unfortunately, natural ones during a group check count as 2 failures each. So you guys are at a net total of 2 failures for the group check. Which is pretty sad, unfortunately. But, honestly, some of your methods were a little more bold than others, to be honest. And so, things didn't quite work out so great now and again. Trust, as you sprint out and try to get past this thing as fast as possible, speaking of the bold plan, it already sees you coming very clearly. As you were like screaming at it at Mach 7 in your cloud form, and it just, without even moving, just a flash of blue light surrounds you, and you need to make a charisma saving throw.
I'm fucking crying, dude. It just looks at me. It's like, no.
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 You're too far past the realms of being within the limits of the law that it's not going to give you a warning. It's just like, you're gone.
Homie, that's the second highest thing I could have rolled. You gotta give me this one.
Unfortunately, that is he doesn't. Not high enough. And so Drost disappears.
You know what?
Yes, sorry.
Can I Indomitable that?
You can if you wish. I will say, just as a courtesy, it's literally impossible for Dross to pass this check.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unfortunately, with a -1, there's not much you can do about this one.
He only specifies wisdom saving throws. So
yeah, that is right. So,
all right,
Drost disappears, and we'll find out next time where he went and what you guys can do about that and what this thing is going to do to the rest of you. That is where we're going to end for the evening.
Yikes.
Wait, but can we talk about how mine I did so good. I did so good.
Yeah, no, he did not see you until Drost fucking yote through, and Leroy, I mean, honestly, one strange thing here is you have not seen any Warforged among the spirits here. Something's going on there. So he kind of stands out, and so that's why he failed the deception check. I think that is fair. And Nakareth, just there's nothing for you to hide here. It's like you potentially could have if you were super sneaky, but it was a very hard challenge to hide in an empty hallway with nobody in it.
It literally would have been like become a trail of mist in the corner.
Exactly.
Pray.
Yeah, you'd have to like slip between the cracks and bricks and like edge your way along that way and stuff. But anyways,
which would be cool as fuck.
It would be cool as fuck, but a natural one did happen, unfortunately.
It did. It did.
That is quite unfortunate.
My strat should have been waiting for someone else to get caught, then screaming by at Mach 7.
Yeah, there you go.
That would have been funny.
That would have been. Can I hold my reaction to move 900 feet, please?